Welcome. It's the Matic. It's the illest blurred in the land. Welcome back to Ill Blur. Matic, welcome back. Legends community is the hardest working blurred on YouTube. Welcome back. I am back today with episode 2 of Batman Caped Crusader and Be the Villain. So, the first thing, that started off with this episode was learning about this actress has been kidnapped, and the culprit that Detective Montoya is pretty much blaming is no other than Bruce Wayne. And I like in this episode that Bruce Wayne is very clever on trying to keep his name clean, because after all, he's a wealthy businessman. He's, in charge of Wayne Enterprises, of course, right? And he wants his name clean. He's like, look, I seen the actress. I dropped her off early enough because I knew she was working on this next movie, but I have nothing to do with her being kidnapped. He even throws money at Detective Montoya. He said, look, I'll throw you some money, if you could just keep my image clean. But who comes to his aid is no other than Lucius Fox as his lawyer to come to his aid, and has prevented Detective Montoya for investigating him much longer. Now in this episode, we learn about the other people that worked around Yvonne Francis, whether it was people doing the costumes, other actors, even directors. I like that they explored that element to figure out who is this culprit that is kidnapping people, but also killing off people as well. The thing I gotta say, we're introduced to Carlos. Carlos seems off a bit as an actor. He's an actor that's worked with her for a longevity, and pretty much they've been working together. He enjoys working with her and everything. But his alibi is a bit off. I'm like, nah, he was talking about, oh, she got caught up hanging out in the wrong circles. You sure about that? And then we're introduced to, another actor that looked up to Carlos, and also the person that did costumes, and even a director that ends up getting killed all by the mass assailant. I like this scene. That was very reminiscent to the 90s Batman animated scene, was when Batman was chasing the mass assailant or villain. And eventually it's a chase off. It had classic elements of chase off where Batman's chasing off the villain, and eventually the villain escapes. The other thing is pretty much Detective Montoya finding out that pretty much the actor Carlos is dead. But it doesn't seem like it's real. You know what I'm saying? When I'm like, nah, ain't no way. And then who uncovers it is pretty much Batman. Batman goes to see if the body is legit. And when he gets to the body, he sees that the body is kind of like, the face is kind of like falling off. And I'm like, But it's too late, because Detective Montoya also gets kidnapped right along with Yvonne Francis. And we see Yvonne Francis on the Hollywood set right along with Detective Montoya when it comes down to it. But we can also see that the villain in this episode had killed off other people. He killed off one of the directors. The other director got saved by Batman. Other actors had been killed because Batman found them as well. He's the world's greatest detective after all, right? And we see that Batman comes through with the classic where he comes through a window, shattering glass to come save both Yvonne Francis and the detective. Now, what I like about the villain, we learn the villain's backstory, the rejection, the hurts, relatable. You know what I'm saying? We all have been rejected in some point in life. And even the hurt and pain, and you know what I'm saying, when it comes to it. Pretty much, it was no other Then Carlos. Carlos killed off the guy that gave him the chemical makeup to make his face more appealing to be a Hollywood actor, but also pretty much he was fed up with only being typecasted as a villain and a thug. And I know that had to hurt because just imagine you're an actor of that caliber, right? But you're not getting the roles you really want. You're always getting typecast. Yo, you're gonna always be these two characters. And that pretty much fueled the revenge. You know what I'm saying? That's what probably made him kill off the other actors and also kill off the director, because that's all they ever saw him as that particular type of character for a movie role. Also, I liked in this episode was the classic duel. We see Batman dueling off with the villain, but also getting the upper hand when he was fighting Clayface for the second time. Dope concept, like I said, reminiscent to the 90s Batman anime series, but it works. Also, we see that when Montoya tries to capture Batman, he's interrupted by her co-workers, the other two detectives, and Batman gets away. And we know that Batman's been put a tracker on Montoya because she knows that she's being recorded, pretty much because she has the little piece of evidence. Overall, I enjoyed this episode. If I had to give it a rating, it's a 5 out of 5. The only thing I didn't like about this episode is only one thing. I wish they would have said the name of the villain, Clayface, but if you watched the original Batman anime series, you kind of knew that it was Clayface. But it's a blur of the word, guys. You tell me in the comments, have you seen Caped Crusader episode 2 and be a villain? Have a wonderful day, legends, and I'm out.